2 months ago, we posted our first devlog about our speedy, open world game, inspired by Hollow Knight and classic Sonic the Hedgehog games. In that video, we explain our concepts and inspirations. Since then, we have turned our idea from concept to a playable game. So in this video, we'll be talking about how we took it from concept to a real game and all our pitfalls along the way. So you can learn from our mistakes and do the same for your game. Also, stay tuned to the end of the episode for a cool announcement. So days go by after the first devlog, we started working on the game, kind of doing random tasks that we thought would be cool, like adding particles or doing random background elements. But we weren't actually making the game more playable, rather just a bit prettier. At some point, we realized if we want to actually go from concept to reality, we have to stay organized and start with something very small. So what we did was make a solid outline for every aspect of our game. We then again realized after counting the tasks up that that was too much. So we made it even smaller. Just the first area, just 3 abilities, 3 enemies, and 1 boss. After that, we went to this site called Trello. You might have heard of it before. It's very useful for organizing tasks and making sure you aren't spending time on doing random stuff. And so a few weeks go by and the progress is slow but steady. We were making animations for the enemies, AI as well, tile sets, and abilities. Suddenly, I get kidnapped by my parents to go to Iran. This makes for an interesting problem. In Iran, most apps are banned. I also didn't have my drawing tablet, so Arjun had no communication with me, and I couldn't draw. I decided I would use this time as an excuse to work on sound effects. So I started thinking about all the sounds that I wanted, went to different websites, mostly freesound.com, and downloaded a bunch of sounds. I then found out that to my surprise, sounds aren't actually just there to be downloaded and used without doing anything. Some of these sounds had different licenses, so now I'm panicking and I'm trying to trace my steps back to find all the sounds and find the licenses. Luckily, I found that Freesound has a section on their website that just says what licenses you have from the sounds you've downloaded. Now I just had to find the other sounds. So I went back into my search history and found all the sounds. Learn from me, always make sure the things you download either have a license, or if they don't, make sure they're free use, and won't land you in a cell with EDP 44. And so now everything is going amazing, right? I wish. Turns out you will always have to fix problems in game development. I mean, who would have thought, right? Anyway, now our game is basically like Mario Maker. We have a bunch of game stuff, but no actual game. Our game won't have levels as it's supposed to be an open world, so my initial idea was to just wing it and try to make random elements that seem fun. The world was pretty disconnected and felt more like a randomly generated game than a believable world. We decided we had to make sections in order for it to be connected. I'll explain. So we started off by making a big hole you drop into, which then has you in a place where you can either go to the left and collect a shard or go to the right, and you have to cross a bunch of spikes. The idea was that you can't progress unless you found the 2 ways of getting across, which is either by hopping over the spikes using momentum, or hitting the spikes and pogoing across. You then get to just hold right and see me go really fast. You then go into the open zone, and there's a bunch of options. You could go anywhere, and you would find some hidden goodies. On the right though, there's a big wolf chase that is short-lived and then followed by a big gauntlet of vertical platforming challenges. You then get to the boss room. Currently, the animations for the boss are there. The AI is going to take a while though. And we want some sort of barrier to entry, because it would be too easy if you could just run to the boss from the start. Besides sectioning off a few places, we also tried to intentionally have the loop of obstacle, problem solving, reward. For the starting area, for example, the obstacle is the spikes, the problem you have to solve is how to get over the spikes, and the reward is going really fast afterwards. As I'm recording this, I'm making a decision between 2 art styles. Very simple or very detailed. So now I'm asking you guys, what do you prefer? Let us know in the comments below. Now for the goodies, as promised. Ever wanted your name to be shown in a game? Then sign up for the free alpha version today. Link is in the description. There will only be 5 spots as I want to ask every individual who does try out the game about their opinion. I will also make a little background asset for anyone who joins the exclusive beta test. Anyway, I hope you learned something from this video and or found it entertaining. That's all for this time. Have a lovely day.